Hi folks, Pastor Paul here, and welcome to the Eastwood Baptist Church. Actually, we're in the parking lot right now, and I want to show you a little bit about what it's going to be like going to church during this pandemic period, and then we'll hold our service scheduled for today. But I wanted to give you that little preview. You know, in my car, in the parking lot, and the first thing I need to do is when I get out, figure out what I'm going to bring with me. You're going to want to make sure you have your mask and put it on before you get out of the car. It'll be a lot easier that way. If you don't have a mask, we have one at the Welcome Center when you enter the church, but you're going to have to wear one. And at this point, if you feel like going in and out of the church, you just can't wear a mask, it's not time for you to come to church. You're going to have to watch it on video at home or wherever you watch your video. You have to wear a mask. I'm going to get out of the car now, and we'll see if we can find our way into the building. I'm going to give you a little tour, and you know, this is an entrance. There's a couple entrances here that people are very familiar with using. One is right by that exit only sign, which means it's not a way to get into the building. And around front there's the pillared entrances and the two doors on the side. Those are actually locked from the outside. All our doors you can get out of from the inside. All doors are fire prepared doors, but you can't get in from those doors. So we're going to have to look for someplace else. And if you head down this way, you'll see right away from the parking lot there's a sign on the side here that says enter here. Let's see if we can figure out where that possibly could be. You know what, when we put up the sign we probably should have said enter this way, because you definitely don't want to go through that door, I think, unless you want to be baptized. But the entrance is a little further down. Now most of you will be parking more in this part of the parking lot. It's the larger section, or parking further down on that end. So you're used to coming through the welcome entrance, we call it. It has the big words welcome over it. I see the doors even open, and it'll be open on each Sunday. So that's where we're going to go in. As we go in, you'll notice that there is a sign outside. It's the Department of Health sign reminding us to wash our hands, to avoid close contact with people who are sick, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home if you're sick, and you can watch the video at home. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, or and certainly we want to be clean in every way. But we're going to go in. When you first go in, there'll probably be some kind of barrier right here. You don't want to go down to the daycare area. We're trying to isolate that area just for daycare events. But these are our stairs. We're going to head right upstairs. If you need to use the elevator, it's right here. And we're asking that people use it one person at a time, or one person and a family member at a time, just to reduce the amount of close contact and in terms of being able to keep everybody safe. When you go up these stairs, the sign says Welcome Station. Let's see what that is. As you enter the building, you'll notice that there is a welcome station here, and there'll be a couple people here when you arrive on Sunday. One person will be taking your name, because we need to do that in case we need to contact people if something starts to spread unknowingly. We want you to be the first to know. We're not expecting it, but we do want to be prepared. Also, there's masks here, there's wipes, there's sanitizer you can use. And when you come in during the week, we're asking people to sign in as well. But someone will take your name, so we're not passing along an infected pen from one person to another. This will be the last place you can go without a mask until the service begins. So we are asking that you be willing to participate in our efforts to be as safe as possible. Since this is the only entrance, we do ask that you stay a proper distance from each other as you're walking. We can all be careful with that. They say 6 feet. I always personally imagine that what would happen if I fell down? And that's about 5 to 6 feet. That should be just about enough. And for me, the idea of falling down is not an unfamiliar idea. It's always tempting to go down these stairs. They won't get you anywhere. So the dog's just a little reminder that we ought to keep going. And then as we go a little further, around one more corner, we'll be entering the sanctuary. The door will already be open, and you won't need to be touching any handles. And as you go in, you'll notice there's no bulletins. There's nothing to be passing out except for there's more face masks, more sanitizer, and more wipes if they're needed. But this will be the sanctuary, and when you come in, it'll look something like this. Fairly plain, but this is what we're going to be living with. Now, one of the things you'll notice as you come into the sanctuary is that you'll be waved to by one of our ushers, and then you can find a seat. We prefer that people sit towards the front first, and we fill from the front to the back. Your favorite pew, if you're a regular here, may already be taken. One of the things you notice is that there are signs here that say sit here, and then there are ropes blocking off the other pews. The one thing that might be a little confusing to you is that appears to be a pool float in the middle of these pews where you're supposed to sit. That's pretty much to be able to move it along one way or another. If there's 4 or 5 people who are in a family, they can sit together and just move the pool stick down. Or if there's a couple people on one end and another couple or one on the other end, you can sit in the same pew. You just want to keep that 6-foot difference. And then when you sit down, hopefully when you get here, you'll hear some music. And one of the things that you can do at this point, once you're seated and a good basically 6 feet from everybody around you, you can take off your mask. Well, we're going to start the service in just a few minutes, but you'll notice that there'll be announcements up on the screen here. We won't be doing any singing. We won't be doing any responsive readings. To be honest, we're not even going to say the Lord's Prayer together, because the more that we expel things out of our mouths, and you do, when we sing, we speak, we want to speak with boldness and sing with joy, but that also means we'll be spreading potentially viral drops. So we won't be doing any of that. The service will be a little different than you're familiar with. One day we'll go back to our usual ways, but right now, being together, you can wave at people, you can say hi to people, but if you're going to do a lot of interaction, we want you to put your mask back on. So let's get ready for the service. Hi, we're so glad you were able to join us for worship today. Looks like the service is done, and it's time to leave. You can't just go anywhere you want. In fact, the first thing we want you to do is put your mask back on. There's not going to be any coffee hours, or really, we don't want to encourage much time to be kibitzing. If you want to talk with people with your mask on outside, with the goods, or making sure to try to maintain that distance, you can. But while we're in church, we want to be as careful as possible. So what we'll do is masks on, service is over. I'll show you the way out. For many who have been coming to church, that's usually the way we're going to go, but not now. Everyone's going to exit, the people in the front first, and we're going to head out this way. And everyone will exit this way. On the way out, will be an offering box here, because we won't be passing offering plates that could get infected. If you need and feel like you could use another squirt of sanitizer, there'll be some of that there as well. And if by chance you need to use the elevator and go back the other way, we want you to wait for all of us to get out first, and then we can backtrack down that hallway. You'll head downstairs here, and our Homecroft door here will be open, and you'll be able to leave and return to the parking lot right by that exit only sign, and head right back out to your car. We thank you for joining us at Eastwood Baptist Church today. It was an unusual service. We know one day it'll be back to the way we're familiar with, maybe, but right now we want everyone to be safe. The most important thing when we come to worship, or if we watch it on a video, is that we know that we have a God who loves us so. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, for us, for you and for me. And he brought good news, and he brought hope and forgiveness and reconciliation with the great and wonderful God that we have, who is even a refuge and a strength in times like these. Thanks for coming.